Well, it's been a few days, so there's enough stupid out there. Guess we'll catch up on it, break it down. Breaking news today: the mayor of Columbus is, executive order mandatory mask in public. I think it's in Dayton, and they can give you a fine. Uh, so, are you in public? The real you, even if you're out there? So where do you really live? In your body. The spirit lives in your body. Anything beyond that is up to you to accept it into your court. How are they going to write you a ticket if they don't ask you for your ID? It's illegal to ask for ID. It's illegal to use a legal name fraud. So you got them right from the get-go. They're offering you a contract because they want to administer your estate to see if your executor is in the office. So it's good. It's a good test. It's one for us to use to put these things into practice. You know you don't have to wear a mask because you're not breaking the law. That's the way I go about it when I was in the grocery. Feel good about that. Radiate that. That's your frequency. They are breaking the law. They're someone above their maker. They think they're going to get sick. They think they're helping their fellow man. But they're not. So you just feel sorry for those. Knuckle. Alright, back again. And just pay attention when they say there's all these new laws, because that's plural. We know that there's just the law, with the capital L. So that's just another obfuscation. And what do they apply to? Persons and citizens, and you're none of that. I put a video in the Restore Ohio group a few days ago, and the lady wrote me a real nice message. Like, she got it. She appreciated it. That you're thinking the next step of what this is all really about. And some people, it's just not going to be the right time for them. If this message came to me like a year ago, I maybe would have resisted it. So it's just that whole game of like, can't you just tell me? But there are some things you can't tell people because they have to be prepared to do it, that inner work themselves. But yeah, this time generally does feel like people are ready for this message, right? The shit shows can't get that much more shitty before you really have to say what is going on. So things are, they're rolled out on time according to that script. I was just dawned on me, the Nag Hammadi and that Dead Sea Scrolls, that was discovered in 1945. So there's your 19. Just another 19. Today's date's July 2nd, so there's 7-2, you got your 9, and 20, you have 9/11, and your capstone with 13, add them all up, 33, just like Father's Day. So those are our Masonic numbers. We're the code, the script from on high. It's our game. Like, they're just playing their part according to what's in us. So just get used to that. The BitChute videos are getting some views, I noticed. So little by little, people are worried about what's being censored, and you're worried about Big Brother, and they're coming, and they're going to invade your privacy. So we've talked about that. That's you. That's the all-seeing eye, the over grand architect that's doing all of that. There's no escape from that. It's for the lawbreakers. That's why we'll keep getting increasingly uncomfortable for them as they continue to break the law and don't think what is going on. They don't have their creator with them. It's not there. It's like God's out there. That's okay. God's in you. That's pretty good. God is you. But shit, now you got to start really taking some accountability. That's a big realization. not to be taken lightly. There was a idea, Facebook guy connected with through Flat Earth, makes great videos. Shazwar Bugti, very intelligent, from Pakistan. Like you could meet people now through here. What's your idea of Pakistan? But no, he's just he's a smart guy using the internet. It's everywhere. So all humanity, just remember that it's in every single one of us is that life. But he had a interesting idea, because like God made man in His image, the 9 made the 6. But what do we really? How will we have access to that? And think about all the powers of projection that we are putting out here. So did man make God in His image as well? What's the chicken or the egg? What came first? 6 or the 9? Can they exist without each other? Probably not. That's all we really know. It's like we're a 6 becoming the 6, and that was like base numbers. Seems to like predate the base 10 system. If you want to go back to Samaria or Assyria, wherever. There's some big buildings and stuff. Like shit was going on, no doubt. So maybe 6 is the more original way of thinking about numbers. The calm voice I had when I was going into Flat Earth was Wakey Wakey channel on YouTube, and as soon as I heard that voice, I was like, "Yep, got to pay attention here." So maybe now, but I still see those kind of people like they're still worried about the big global government. That that's their enemy. You're manufacturing that fear. So all good things will come in time. I've been transcribing the talks. Maybe I'll put together a book, PDF, just other ways to disseminate that message. Because it's not like grandma wants to sit down to 20 hours of YouTube videos. That's a lot to ask. Keep working on that. It's pretty time consuming. I've got my work cut out for me. One of the most powerful things in the Bible is Ephesians 6:12. So a 216, 6 squared. But we don't wrestle. They wrestle against evil in the high places. So from a child literal reading, you start to think, oh, there's all these bad spirits and forces out there that you have to fight. So that seems pretty intimidating. If that's what it was, that's what was really going on. So just keep thinking about it. Where are those high places? How do they exist? What are those really? They're in your mind, because that's where the evil can take hold. Because you separated your creator and your spirit. So now your free will is doing evil things down here. So that's what the spirit, the love, that's that battle. That's the only battle and the only war. Everything else is just a projection of that system is screwing them over, and they need to beat it. But you can't beat Babylon at its own game. It'd be like playing Monopoly and you're trying to beat the banker, which you can't. But you're not even aware that there's another intelligence that designed the whole game, just pit you against that banker. So you just want to be playing the game down here on the board for your whole life. That's what you'll get until you step back and think about it, the real way it operates. It's like trying to arm wrestle yourself. Like, you can't win. You're not going to win that game at that level. Clauses, it's just your Santa Clauses, or all these clauses, A, B. Is there an important one in there that you overlooked? No, you just got to know what you are. You're the original issue from Creator. You're God's representative down here. They're trying to figure out what their nationality is, what they're owed by being born. A Nazi is a NASA. It's also a lie. So when you were born in here, into your nation, is there a lie in that? Yeah, because it's just a trial. It's a test. So whatever you step into after that, I mean, your skin's a layer, temporary. Now what are you? You take on your role. Are you in these imaginary borders? This county, this city, this state, this country. You know, it's all one. It's all the same shit. You're a living spirit, and you inhabit your body. That's the end of it. So if someone's coming in with their breaking news and they want to administer, get up in there, that's your test to see if you're home. If you need any contracts with anyone out there, you know, people say, well, I got all these rights, and they're yelling about their rights to speech, sort of. Yeah, maybe, but if you're breaking the law, then no. Then that's why all that stuff is there, to control your rights, your freedom of assembly. That's the real freedom of assembly is when the true man, and they're operating from love. Nothing can deny that. You know, if you're getting together in your gang and you're gonna go break the law, well, that's all that stuff exists. That big fat book of Ohio Revised Code, revised. You know, it'll always be updating, but we know that one, the law. They don't ever say that in any of this, these news stories. You know, can you imagine? Someone's popped out with that. People knew that. So you're getting that here. I saw someone that, man, they just went down that whole slavery, guilt story that we were presented with. Roots, textbooks, the whole movies. It's all nonsense. Where, right now, can you go and find where that's going on the board? You know there's nothing new under the sun. Where's all this slavery taking place? Oh, we got rid of it. So now things are better. Now we're free. That was part of the trick. We got rid of it. Rah, rah, rah. Everyone's always been a slave until you wake up to the fact that you're a man and you run your own life, your own body, your own nation. That's a slave. The mind. So no matter what color, whatever story, go look into it. It's all nonsense. This is a way to divide and conquer, pit supposedly different people. So yeah, you're a slave. Everyone's a slave until you get this information and you incorporate it into the way you go about your life. Then you're not a slave, because no one can enslave that. You don't have any problems. You're not asking permission and directions from anything else except your Creator through your heart. Talking about slavery. That's the biggest slave. And you're telling other people they should be doing something for these slaves. All one. One big slave ship. And no one's got the wheel. So that's what we're seeing out there. You want to be on the land. Common law, that's the same as natural law. It's the law. It's common sense. That's why it's common. Don't fucking hurt other people or yourself. But yeah, there's a lot of different names for that. But yeah, you have that when you are actually standing on the land. But this system is just testing it to see if you have the power to control your manifestation. Which is way it must probably be, you know. The law of nations, someone was talking about that. So we know what nation, birth, it's a lie. The law, well, it's just another way of saying they don't do no harm, do unto others. And then you can go about the real commerce. You know, you're going to take the market of beasts to participate in the commercial system. But we know what that entails. And then maybe that part of that is for us to question what we are actually participating in that and what for. At least examine it, because it might not be that obvious. People just go about their day and think they're but look a little bit closer. I saw driving by Lowe's today and pack some good there, I'm sure, doing good stuff. But it's ultimately your decision. You have to assess that. Use your discernment. Go there and connect with your fellow man there. you know, lawful? Is it awful? Or is it awful? These words are pretty subtle. Is it full of the law, that one law? Or is it an imitation? So many, you know, well, where does it go back to? We talked about Hammurabi, and that's just commercial stuff. And so, well, where does it start? You know, Magna Carta, the big letter of the heart, written in 1215. There's a 9. Of course, the whole Middle Ages was just created, right? It was the little I and then 3 numbers. The little I being the Christ. And then somewhere in the 1600s, they just turned that little I into a 1. Boom. Now you have the Dark Ages. All that. Just that's how quick that story will be updated. So what was the Black Plague really about? Do we even really know anything about that? There weren't any years for it. And there were big, massive, developed civilizations here, pretty obviously. So, you know, just that, whatever you think you know, and just let it go out here on the stage. The 39th clause in that Magna Carta, though, that's the one, 3:9, from God to its creation. You know, no man will be, you know, imprisoned, with, you know, deceased, all of that, won't be retained, unless, you know, through a jury of peers. That's what that reflection is here, because your peers are the ones that, we are the real law enforcers. We just have the police here stepping in, just like we have the government stepping in. You know, and the very end of that clause, though, was, or by, you know, the king. Of course, we think, oh, there's just a king, some arbitrary person out there, but no, it's talking about the kings, the law. The king is the law bearer. Agenda 21. Well, now people are worried about 2021. You know, it never stops. It just always gets updated. But, you know, what's scary there? 2030, it's 23. We talked about that in the last talk. Magic number. There are magic numbers because everything's magic. Maybe 2030, the system is hoping that's when people will step up in mass and return to Eden. And all the suffering and the fear and all that shit goes away. Put that in your cranium for 2030. Yeah, maybe we need 9 years to get that, disseminate this message. And that takes care of all that stuff. People are looking for, you know, YouTube alternatives, Facebook alternatives. None of it is not being watched. Right? This is ridiculous to say this is a secure website. The creator made it. So you keep an eye on itself and you. It wants to know what it's doing. What you guys are doing down here together. So I mean, none of my YouTube videos have been censored. That's a child, like, trying to hide. They're not gonna spy on me. Facial recognition, yeah, eyes. It'll get right up in there. That's the only way it could. It's the way it's designed. It's the way you designed it for you to win this game. So don't feel bad about that. Be glad. When you see that, you see why it works that way, and feels good because it's so elegant. It's perfect. From down here, it kind of seems mysterious and fucked up, but it's not. It's just there's not enough people down here carrying that message. The Beast. Yeah, I'm trying to, you know, V for Vendetta. I watched that a few years ago. You know, it's the same old, you know, guys. He's fighting the government in Britain. But that's supposed to be us, our spirit, fighting for our government. Tear down that government on the stage, because that one does what it has to do to get you prepared. The vendetta is, you know, that's revenge. But you're not going to get revenge against the hologram show out there. The revenge is to get your heart back, because it's been scaring itself, been manifesting all this problems in your life. Guy Fawkes was that character. Just take a look. The beast within the flesh. So that's what Guy Fawkes, the guy that was fighting, blowing up the government on the set, on the stage. That's what it means at another level. And the Guy Fawkes is the Antichrist of Revelation. So that's the element that comes in here through that frequency to let you know Christ is not out there on the stage. God's not out on the stage somewhere. Just think back to all like kids, like, yeah, fuck God, where is it? It doesn't do anything. My life sucks. But that's the explanation. It is everything, and you are everything. So, of course, it's not going to be. We have the alien invasion. You have like Christ projected coming down out of the sky. Yeah, they probably will. There's so many people going, I got my, I found Jesus Christ on the set. No, it's not there. Just, some of these things bear repeating, but, we make our problems and these things that we think are preventing us from enjoying our life. That's a decision that you make in your mind at every moment, every eternal moment, present. That's your thing to work on, to investigate that. But your name is both of those, right? From down here, you could say that you got your name there, all caps. You got a corporation, but that we know why that system had to exist, because you didn't know. You were just a small infant, single cell. And then you develop. So your name is your friend too, even that all caps name, because that's your corporation that you can now take out there into commerce if you choose to do so. You want to drive a truck and move goods, then you're in commerce, and there are rules for that. So that's not something bad that's taking advantage of you. It will if you don't know what it's there for and why it exists. So yeah, if you want to go make a paycheck and do things like out there, then get to know that corporation, get to know that strawman, that estate. That's the only thing that can even interact in those courts. You go in there with your lawyer, you're done, you're toast. There's nothing for you to even do there, except they're just going to take money out of your your account, your living account, and that's what funds all that judge's salary and the plaintiff, and they're there for you when you understand what that is going on there. Judges, you're a benefactor, you're the beneficiary. It's all about you. But you don't know, you just walk in there and it puts you right back where you belong. So, for all the law people, they just got to get over that hurdle that it's all a bad thing out there, that they're trying to figure it out. It's a cool system, because when you see how it works on people who don't know what's going on, it's like a razor blade, but we'll figure it out. Read in Echelon. It's like the system, this computer that listens to every voice through everything. It's all recorded. Now the 5G is just making that even more, sealed. So do pay attention to what you're saying. But you're hurting someone by your words, then maybe you do need to wear a mask. That's what it symbolizes. Capitis diminutio maxima. So, yeah, that's the Latin. Of course, Roman Empire probably made up, but that dead Latin, the etymology of that's where you're going to find what it really means. Because you always got to kick that one, there's a kid's game, trying out words, and then you kick it up to that high one. And what's ever come out of their mouth is for you, is just for them, right? So it's just God playing this game. It's just very interesting that we've seen that we're all separate down here. There was one more thing on the just this general health issues. There, yeah, AIDS was another. What happened to AIDS? Another virus that doesn't exist. You know, people got killed from the treatments, just like goes on now with cancer and everything else. That was all exposed, but you know, it's only exposed for the 15 to 19% of people who can think, who can get it. It's nothing new under the sun. Uh, yeah, man, plenty of documentaries there. Dr. Sebi is probably the closest one from I can tell, because you know, here's some herbs to detox. That's as far as he went. I mean, you know, someone's going after Dr. Morse, and you know, he's selling his products and stuff. He's trying to make money in the Babylon system, but he's got a pretty good message overall. You know, so take the good from that, and then the stuff you don't agree with, that's your responsibility. But what's the point of going after him with all your issues? You're just being exposed as a child. Does he have a right to sell his stuff? It's on him. You know, it's kind of breaking the law in a way, but is he helping more people than he's hurting? So what is it in you that you have this vendetta for someone out there? That's what you want in you. Then you could just be that, do that, become your own doctor. Someone told me, well, a good doctor will get, you know, 2 or 3 opinions. No, because you already know what they have to say. No, there's the truth. That's the only thing that heals, is your body. They can assist it. They're tricks. Some guy's mother had the arthritis real bad, and I was thinking back, yeah, well, what did I do when my mother had it? And you know, I was getting on the stage, what's out there. But there's a drug. They developed it so people would stop taking heroin. It took all the pleasure away from that. But it was too strong. They didn't take any pleasure in anything, in life, living, or anything. So, but then through some happenstance, so instead of 500 milligrams, like 2 or 3 or 4 milligrams, it turns off your immune system. And that's what's causing the pain, as this immune system's going around and trying to clean out your tissues. It's doing what it wants to do, but yeah, there's pain involved in that. So, but in the moment, you can tamper that down a little bit. You got to get a doctor's permission. We used a guy who worked with addiction. That's where that naltrexone was first used. But yeah, he said most of his people were trying to turn off that autoimmunity. I got into into juicing, and juicing carrots and celery and shit. Clean one of those things, that's a lot of effort. I mean, one of the joys of switching to this lifestyle is there's like no dishes, no grease, big dirty pots you got to clean. You just rinse off the cutting board with the fruit juice. But you can get a citrus juicer. That's probably one of the only things you really make sense to juice. For $20 at Target. It's kind of a hand workout, but real easy to clean. That's for me the main advantage. Yeah, if I saw someone's trying to defend eating flesh, meat, I just snooze it. I don't know. We talk about manifesting your reality. Well, where does that come into place? That's your choice in that moment. Maybe they'll come back later when it's just so obvious that here's all these healthy people that are spiritually enlightened, or they're not dealing with those energies, and maybe then they'll get it. Maybe they're here for that, to play that role. We've seen how many people just doesn't matter what you tell them, they can't be told. It's not their role down here. We think this life is like, we take it for granted for what we see. But we're finding that out pretty quick, right? It's more of a movie. And in the movie, you alter the set, it's variable. So that's why we're getting this crazy stuff out there. I'll try to appreciate that. Like, good. They're putting laws and they're going to be fining people, but that's our cue. That's our prompt. It's time for us to speak up with, from what we know. Otherwise, we'd just be sitting around, the world would just be people watching sport. You know, nothing would change because that's not in the movie script. But yeah, that's kind of let that one settle in a little bit. Get used to how that would feel like to be the writer. Because at year 9, it's the director, the real director, for all that whole big show. You know, these scary. I mean, how ridiculous are these health people on the TV trying to tell you what to do with your health? It's not. It's supposed to be easy. Like, you're supposed to be able to figure it out. Because it doesn't make any sense. Why would you take health advice from so obviously unhealthy? So, just another key clue. That's not what that's for. The remedy, they talk a lot about when you go through that process of figuring out who you are, who's in charge of your body. I said, well, where's the remedy? And they kept saying that the system has a remedy, provides a way out, a solution, that they just don't ever tell you what it is. But because the building blocks are the first things first. Spirit, cell, 2 cells, into your body. So that's it. Master that system, that trinity, and then you have the ability to assess whatever is out there on the stage as it presents itself to you, or as you're inviting it in, because your energy is vibrating with the set, so you attract a certain character as part of your life. You know, it's just like when a catalyst or something enters the cell, like it recognizes that entry gate energetically through frequencies. Well, people are the same way. You go about your life. You have certain ways you interact with certain people. It's based on that energy. It's just that another fractal level out on the set. So as you become more aware of that, just ask yourself if you're in a situation and you're thinking someone's that asshole out there, but it's actually your spiritual test. So it's really hard to get annoyed at people, for me, these days. Except when they're driving too slow. A lot of traffic today. I'll wait for that second wave, man. I'm starting to look forward to it. Like, really? That's it? And then just boom, boom, go home. Like, and they'll be that afraid and they'll just go home. It's a tool, one that was used, right, for us. I was afraid. But now I'm grateful because that forced me to figure out, master that fear. What was I manufacturing out there? But yeah, second wave. Looking forward to that. It might be this the wave that people are waking up, getting more enlightened. It's kind of hard to argue with this message. I try to analyze every weakness. Noah's Ark. It's the Ark. Your heart. It's like patch it up with bitumen and all this stuff. But symbolically, that's what it's talking about. Like that your heart, your car, that it's it's sealed. But that's the contract can be updated instantaneously, but the effects down here energetically take more time. So, well, there's 9 wandering stars, the planets, 9. So the whole sky, everything is reflected in our physiology. We are the earth. Just life in it. The alphabet itself is the story of life. I've read several books on that. You know, the A is the bridge from spirit to the baby's born, and then C a little bit because it's just that top part of the C. It's missing the S, and then comes into dimensionality. Like so, every letter spelled out the hieroglyph, and there are other languages that are original. You know, the Aleph Bet, the Paleo Hebrew, because those signs, those vibrations, make patterns through the cymatics, and those were the original letters. And before that, communicated telepathically. There was no need for words. You couldn't break the law because it was so obvious. But as it got denser and denser down into these layers, it became harder to remember that. But I've seen some of those, you know, like Zoso, like those Zeppelin, those four things, those are some of them, right? So, I mean, this knowledge is not lost. It's just not being, it can't be revealed until you're prepared. One of the recurring dreams, I'm in the forest, I got my squad, we're like 10 or 11 years old, and it's dark, there's a light, and we're circling it, trying to get closer and closer. And as we come up and look into there's a circle of elders sitting around the campfire. It's probably a representation of that. But as you get up there and you start to look over their shoulder and look down into the light, that's when they turn around, because you're not ready to take on that energy of that creation. So the sun is a refractor of that light, just that little sun. That's how powerful it is for down here. So, you know, you can't just expect that you're going to go up to the sun and then see what all that light is, right? Because you're just not prepared for that yet. But so we're just missing the elders that have this knowledge. So could be sad about that? No, just become one. Get a long life. Get a lot of years in this, you know, this realm. So maybe there will be a flood. The world's coming to an end. Does it ever? Has it ever? You gonna worry about that? You gonna run off to the woods like I did 10 years ago and just come back? You get bored because you didn't bring your people with you, right? You didn't really know what you were doing. So, you know, how silly are you gonna feel? It's gonna be 2040, and you know, everybody's gearing up for whatever that show is going to show, according to what we want in that moment. But so yeah, it's pretty much our show. So in terms of the so guy, you know, just all that media, just like click it off. That's the first step. It's a good step. But the one you really got to click off is the one that's running those programs in your head, up in those shadows in your cave. Are those still are catching your attention, making you afraid? You know, that's, you just need the director come in, flip on the lights, and that whole thing just light it all up. Just walk the fuck up on out of the cave into the real world. You know, but you know, of course, that just will happen right up in there. Nothing else is happening anywhere really except there. I was arguing about, you know, well, what was Hitler? And, you know, well, he was a bad guy, but then now he's a good guy, and he's fighting the bankers, and he's a Swiss agent, and play, right? It's all a play. Everyone famous in history and today, they're characters for you. You don't have to worry about what they really are, because they're holograms running off of the set, off of those scripts. Did any of that stuff happen? Really? How would you know? Did D-Day happen because there's a movie about it? What is D-Day really? What was it? What was the date? You know, just punch in those numbers and it'll start to make sense. And as a part of the play. All you really know is what you experience. And even that you don't know because your eyes are blind, right? It's your heart. It's what you feel. Um, so I think that's about all I have today. So everyone's gearing up for 4th of July. Rockets bursting in air. Trying to figure out what that was going on. You know, it's a pretty tight story that all these characters were here. George Washington. But, I mean, I looked into that one, and dude was like 6'4", and then in the White House, it's this little Jewish guy. It's like 5'3". Same person? Did they just update things sometime in the 1860s to make that make sense? You know, I forget where I saw it, but there's some textbook. They're just going to combine the Revolutionary War and the Civil War and just call it the American War. Well, you got to update the ends, and you know, you can't. It's just too vast to make for a man, a regular person down here, to make sense of it. So yeah, it has to be presented in some type of format, you know, to play this game. Otherwise, that would just blow your mind. You know, people get wrapped up in Atlantis, and then, you know, maybe before that was Lemuria. All of it. But you're not gonna. It's not gonna make sense in the big picture because it can't. I mean, I looked at the one like Washita, all the Toltec, those big stone heads with the Negroid features, and these things are big, man. But you know, when there wasn't as much ocean, and they were seafaring, and they were huge. But they called themselves the Washita. And, you know, is that where Washington, right? Pretty close. You know, what epic was that? Who built these pyramids? Some of these pyramids are so big that people just think they're mountains. They're so overgrown. That's how old and stuff is. I mean, there's megalithic structures underwater all over the plain. Big stuff. Like, huge. You know, it's interesting to look at, but take it for what it is. You don't want to just break your brain trying to figure and argue all that out. Just the point of all that is that, wow, this is pretty spectacular production. You know, so just think about putting your own movie together, and now you got the pen, so you control the characters and the cast and the lighting, and this really is a show. I mean, Shakespeare, they weren't lying. The world is a stage. They just didn't tell you that you were the god in charge of it all until now. Yeah, Maximus. Good stuff. So yeah, we'll find the next magic day, see what the numbers are, what lines up. See what nonsense is going on out there. Who's this Anomaly, man? He's on there within 30 seconds. He's got like 1.3 million viewers. Like, people just chap. Like, is that real? But that's not what this message is like that. You know, you can't just tell someone. They got to, like, they do need to, like, get lulled to sleep for 20 hours until they settle down. Do that Thich Nhat Hanh style, you know. That's the only way that we'll get across. So yeah, all good. So look for a book publisher. If anyone, I know people have done that kind of stuff. Just, will I sell it? No, it's just to get the message out. Different formats. So that's what I'm working on. So yeah, as always, we win this with love. When in doubt, if you see something stupid, someone, just throw love on it. So someone from Columbus, but they didn't live here now. I have no idea who they are, but oh, good news. The mask doesn't lower your oxygen. Oh, what a relief. She's like, oh no, really? Here's a Washington Today or USA Today story. Oh, great. So those people, they doesn't matter what you tell them, because they have to believe in that narrative as a little child. But a few people asked, you know, I said, oh yeah, well, hypoxia and, you know, hypercapnia, whatever, you know. So those are the ones will get it. Those ones will never get it. So that's our, we have to play that middle ground, right? Tell the ones that are thinking, so they can get it. You're helping them, and then these other ones, not to fight them, but I dropped that in there so that some of her friends would see it, and then now that's her new circle of people who might be questioning this stuff. So yeah, I had a little Facebook argument or interaction there, probably the first one in like months. So just always bring it back to what you're the captain of that ship in those waters now. So enjoy it, have fun with it. It's nice not having to. I had my car transmission acted up again yesterday downtown, just out of nowhere. Started it with nothing. I had to cancel my next trip. You know, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna park it down here. It's super hot. I'm gonna have to walk all this stuff, and I was just like, stop, just stop. I said, just get over here, and just turn the car off, and just think of something else for a minute. I was just like, you know, just freaking myself out. I was thinking, like, well, what could it be? You know, no messages on the car, nothing. I limped it to the auto parts. The only thing I could think of is that it's leaking oil. And it drove fine and I put more oil in it, and then it drove fine, and it drove fine all day today. So it was probably something I was experiencing in myself, and then it got reflected in the car, or projected into it. I think I was probably working too hard. They had a promotion, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do all this, and I think that just stopped me right there. The transmission. So you know, pay attention to those synchronicities. They're hilarious. All right, so we're gonna go venture out into the insanity. 6 feet. One last idea. What that's about, we know the 666. So the evil way to go about it is at 6 feet. That's when the heart, you know, the frequencies of the heart aren't connecting to each other, because you're that far away. But who really knows how that works, you know? So there's always that third layer. It's probably at that distance that you can assess whether you want to go closer than 6 feet, and you know, you're discerning what's being created through that. That'd be my guess. I'll look back into that heart stuff. The heart's 10,000 times stronger than the brain. Well, who's really measuring that? Who came up with those numbers? You know, I saw, on July 25th, 1147 BC. But they don't even know if some guy lived 2,000 years ago. So it's just grain of salt, like the whole shaker of salt. When you try to learn something out there, it's always symbolic of the real purpose. So cool. I will see everyone on the next one. All right, much love.